to ask questions. I want to give also an overview of the course, and then an overview of the assignments, and see what questions there are about the course. So I was hoping that Irene had her video and her camera, but I don't know what's going on. So let's get started anyway. So Justice, if you don't mind telling me a little bit about you.
Well, I'm a banker by profession in Nigeria. Currently, I joined ISM sometime in April enrollment. I've attended some lectures in New York. In New York, I did about 4 courses in New York, and that is it basically. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm married with 3 kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're busy then. Very busy.
Yeah, very, very busy. You can see I'm still in the office. Though I've closed for the day. I was waiting for your lecture.
Okay. So is it about 8 p.m. there or something like that?
Yeah, it's 7 p.m. here.
7 p.m.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as you probably know, I am in the United States. I am in Cary, North Carolina. I don't know if you're familiar with North Carolina.
I haven't been to North Carolina.
No, it is a very vibrant area. We have the Research Triangle, where a lot of IT companies and healthcare companies, as well as chemical, bioengineer companies set home here, because we have 3 major universities: North Carolina State University, Duke University, and UNC Chapel Hill. So they attract a lot of talent that later on is hired by these companies. I will be talking today a little bit about the course, again, talking about the content of the assignments, and then give you an opportunity to ask questions that you may have about the assignments. I'm going to get started. Irene, are you there with us? All right, well, I'm going to get going anyway, because I want to respect your time since you are here on time. All right, so this course is about human resources. I think that in this time and age, I wish the name was different, something like talent management, but I think many of the textbooks are still behind into changing the name of how we call the talent that we have in our organizations. And the way that I have structured the assignments is in a way that I want to make it relevant to you. Most of the students that I have at ISM, just like you, are very unique. They come from top leadership positions. The challenges they face in the organizations are different to the rest of traditional students, or even the regular MBA students, because they have to deal with more strategic issues. So this course will focus more on the strategy component of human resources. You will read a little bit about the functional areas of human resources, but more importantly, what is the strategy behind using HR in your organization? So you already introduced yourself. Irene, are you with us? No. Okay. Well, part of my history is that I was a gymnast. I was part of the national team in gymnastics. When I was in college, I was a college athlete, and I think that had an impact on how I teach the content that I teach. I always look for I have very high expectations of my students. I am a psychologist. My doctorate is in psychology, but I am also very interested in technology. Right now I'm working on a project that is using virtual reality to develop cultural competence across in global businesses. So it's a very interesting new approach on how to use technology to help business leaders work with different cultures. The more and more I consult with companies, I realize that business are becoming more global, and we need to understand not only the different industries in different countries, but also how to relate to people from these other countries so that our assignments are more impactful and more efficient. Justice, how much of your business is a global business?
Yeah, as I said earlier on, currently I'm a banker. I work for Zenith Bank in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
In my company, we have a presence in UK, have 2 business offices in UK. We have a rep office in South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
We also have some offices in some part of African countries. We also have a rep office in China.
Mm-hmm.
We have an office in Dubai,
Mm-hmm.
a business office in Dubai as well.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, before now, I used to be in the commercial banking group of the bank, but I've been reassigned to a strategic business unit. I head one of the business outlets in Lagos,
Okay.
and I'm the head of the business unit. I head the branch, and basically, what I do is to manage people to achieve the set targets and able to drive the organizational goal. Like where I am currently, before I came into this branch, the performance was quite poor. So I was deployed here more like a change agent to help restructure the place and help drive the business to ensure that profitability is in place. And I've been here for the past 9-10 months. I can tell you for free that since I came here, things has really changed. Yeah, the branch has been in existence for the past 7 years, but profitability was quite low until I came here. The average profit before I got here was average of about 7 million. Let me see what the difference is in US dollars so that you can understand better. You know, divided by 330 is about $21,000 profit every month.
Wow.
You know, so when I joined, things has been changing. Business has improved. There's been a lot of changes in terms of business development, using the same set of people that I met to achieve the same result. To achieve the result that we have achieved currently. Because the management perspective is that probably the people on ground, the former branch manager, they were not driving the business properly. I think it has to do with focus. So when I came with vigor, I came with ideas, I came with direction and all that. So we had a lot of meetings, how I think we can make our impact in changing the position and the performance of the branch. And that is paid off. As we speak, as at the last month profit, we grew from, when I joined, the profit was about 7% on average. But as our last month, being the month of September 30th, we made a profit of about hold on, let me see. From $21,000 to about $218,000.
Wow, that's quite impressive.
Yeah, you can see almost about 500% growth.
Right.
Wow. So, but the same set of people that I met,
wow,
are the same people I'm using to drive the business. What has changed is the management skills.
Right.
Making people take ownership, assuming leadership responsibility that it is not a one-man show. It is something that we can all achieve. And there have been team play and team bonding, and that has actually helped.
Yes.
So, but that notwithstanding, I still want to learn more to see how we can take the position to a high level. So that is basically it's quite challenging managing people.
Yes.
People with diverse background, different characters, and at times you find yourself stepping on toes to make sure things are get done.
Yes.
But as I said earlier on, I'm still in the process of improving myself increasing my ability to lead people, and also use them to achieve results. And also impact knowledge to ensure that I also replicate self in the people that I'm working with.
Yes. You know? So, well, that is actually not an easy task. I think that you are talking about transformational leadership. Even something that you mentioned is you work with the same people, which is really a challenge to transform the culture of an organization. But it seems that you are being very successful at it. And I am very pleased to hear that. So hopefully this course will help you from a different perspective. You will see that a lot of the elements that we cover in the course perhaps are things that you already know and perhaps you already do. We only give you a framework so that you can use different tools and have a more organized approach to different issues that you may be facing related to human resources. Well, thanks for sharing that. In my own expertise, I always choose work assignments that take me to different parts of the world. I always think that there's more than one way to get things done. And the more I deal with people from different countries and business in different regions, I think it's more important to, it teaches me to get things done in different ways. So today we're going to be talking about my expectations for this course. You will notice that the assignments are very practical. I would like to see in the assignments how you're putting into practice the content that you have read and use it just as a framework to discuss specific examples. So I'm not looking so much for theory, but the application of the concepts into particular examples. This course will help you see things from a different perspective and recognize things that perhaps in the past you did not recognize in traditional situations. I do most of my work. You mentioned that you have offices in China. Most of my work, my consulting work is in China. And I remember that one of the consulting assignments that I did last year required that headquarters in the US had their offices in China implement a 360. Are you familiar with 360s?
No.
No? So perhaps you know them in a different way. So a 360 instrument is a questionnaire where you ask your boss, your peers, and the people that report to you what they think about your performance.
Okay. Yeah. Why not? Yeah.
So how do you call that?
What I actually do is I look at it as a self-assessment. Like yesterday, I was discussing with one of my colleagues. I say I've worked with you guys for about 10 months now. How I told her, don't look at it that I'm your supervisor or I'm your manager, but I just want you to assess me, assessing your boss that you've worked with over the years, and tell me, how am I doing? Am I really doing well? You know? And she said yes. That I told her, is it because I'm here? That's why I said that I'm doing well. In your own assessment, how do you rate me as a boss or as a supervisor? And she said yes. For her, she's seen a lot of improvements in them too, that they've been able to learn a lot too on the job, you know, because of my background. It has also helped them because I'm coming from head office group where we do a lot of big ticket transactions, and that has also helped in the growth of the branch. And I told her, okay, I know at times I could raise my voice and all that because I want things done, you know. So, but I told her, as we progress, we understand more about ourselves, and that can also help drive the business, you know. Well, I always I like feedbacks, you know. I like feedback when I work with people, so that I don't get carried away and I see myself drifting.
Yes. Well, that is a very good practice. In the US, we use it very much. We call it a 360, and usually we try to do it every year. And so we get feedback from our peers, from our boss, and our reports. So when headquarters, let me see if Irene is with us. Irene, are you with us?
I can't see her.
I think her picture froze.
Yeah, froze exactly.
Oh, she's gone. Okay, probably she'll join again later. So because we use it so much in the US, the headquarters asked the managers in China to do the same. And I was in charge of going to China and help the managers learn how to give the 360 to their employees and how to give them feedback. I think she's there.
She's trying to connect.
Yeah. Hello, Irene? Irene? I'll give you a couple minutes. So anyway, when I got there, I realized that the managers were giving these questionnaires, but they were not.
Yvonne.
Oh, are you with us?
Hello, I'm having trouble. I'm so sorry. I'm having trouble with my laptop and my speakers here.
Oh, don't worry. But can you hear us?
Yes, yes. Hi, Yvonne.
It's good to see you. So, Irene, do you know Justice? Do you know each other?
We don't have a
yes, I'm here.
Right, okay. So, Irene, would you mind introducing yourself to Justice?
I can hear you, yes. Nice to be here. I'm so sorry about.
Oh, she's gone.
I think she's having a problem with her internet connectivity.
Yeah.
Her internet connection. I think she's having a problem with her internet connection. I think so.
Yes. So the managers in China were not giving feedback because it's a very high power distance country where the managers are not really willing to hear and the employees do not feel comfortable giving really feedback. So many times we try to go to other countries trying to implement new strategies without considering the culture. So of course, getting feedback is really valuable, but I think that it's important to adjust the human resources practices according to the region. And if you are going to implement new practices, have people trained into the benefits of these practices. So that's why you will see that in this course, I'm trying to help you use tools that perhaps you used them in the past in one way, or we have used them in the past in one way, but I want you to learn how to use them in your own reality and decide which one of those strategies will work for you and which ones you would not be able to adjust to your own country, culture, and organizational culture at the end. So when we look at the main challenges that HR, that human resources has within the company, the first one is that sometimes we don't see HR as a strategic partner. I don't know how it is in your company, but in the US, traditionally, HR is paying, payroll, discipline, benefits, very function-oriented, training and development, but not many times you see HR executives at the negotiating table or in board meetings because they're not as involved. I don't know how it is for you.
It's exactly the same thing. That's how it is in my country. Mm-hmm. It's payroll, trainings, placements, job placements, mm-hmm. you know. Mm-hmm. But in terms of negotiation for staff emolument, staff welfare, you don't really get involved. It's strictly the executive management mm-hmm. and ratification from the board.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and sometimes it's not to their fault. Sometimes they don't think about HR, they are not invited to the meetings, but because historically HR has not been very involved in the strategy, but they can be very helpful when they understand our business, when they understand the strategy, and how they can align their own activities to reach organizational strategies. For example, if your organization is going to open a new office in another country, HR can get involved into selecting people who have the right skills to work across cultures. Or HR can be involved in when they are going to send expatriates overseas and get the family adjusted to the new culture. Or with training, if you are going to acquire a new piece of technology, implement training so that the organization accepts the new technology faster and with less barriers. Another challenge that HR has is credibility. Not a lot of credibility, again, because either they're not invited to the important strategic meetings or they do not understand the business as a whole. So being able to understand the industry, not only the business, but the industry where the organization is existing, can help be more relevant and bring more value to the rest of the organization. And then I think that HR needs to be developing their own technologies to be able to help the rest of the organization through technology. These days, I see how sometimes HR uses like optical scanners to filter candidates. I think that's a pretty good advancement in HR, but I think that technology needs to be continuing integrating into the processes of HR. Irene, are you with us now? Not yet. Okay. So are you aware of any challenges that your HR department has?
Yeah, for my organization, the challenge I know that they have is the HRO in my organization, the impact for me, my own assessment is you don't really feel the impact because most decisions have been taken, even when they do their recommendations, it's been taken by the executive management, and you find out that all they do basically is just the payroll, the employee based on the interview people, placement, but issue of staff welfare that need to be addressed to help motivate staff. You know, there are a lot of motivational factors in terms of in an organization. So many things, a lot of things that motivate people. You have the promotion, you have the bonus pay, you have the pay rise and all that, you know. But what I've seen so far, I don't see the impact of human resources management department in this area. You know, these decisions are just been taken by ESCO, and well, let's ask them to execute their impact. Probably profiling solution, advising how it should be done. I don't see it come to fore in my organization. You know, so those are the challenges that I see. And it also affect people's how do I put it now? It demoralizes people. You know, because when you complain, it's not being addressed. You complain, it's not being addressed. Probably they look at the economy, that it should be grateful you have a paid job. Yes. You're not unemployed. So why are you complaining? Why do you want promotion? Why do you want pay rise? You should be happy. How many people have job in the economy? And it's very demotivating, you know. Yeah. So, but the system is making money. The organization is posting profit. At least in my own little way, I've told you my achievement so far. You know, so the reward system is not encouraging. You know, it's not encouraging. But where do you go from here?
Yes,
the economy is not really doing well.
Yes, definitely. Compensation systems are one way to get people motivated. Sometimes organizations think they want to reinforce teamwork, but then compensation is individual. So they are actually not motivating teamwork.
Exactly.
So in situations like that, like those ones, HR needs to have an alignment between what a company is saying, the strategy is, the values, the mission, and the specific practices, such as compensation. And HR can have different phases according to the size of the company or how new the company is. In very small organizations or new created organizations, HR will have the role of building. An example here would be a small bakery or a small store that just opened, and they are just very small. They don't have a lot of functions. So HR has more of a building process. Now, another role that HR can have is realigning. So let's say that the company needs to go through change. Perhaps they went through a merger, and HR needs to help the organization find redundancies, adjust to the new culture, or assigning new ways of compensating, and so on. So that would be an example of the realignment objective of HR. And then the third kind of objective that HR can have is steering via human resources. So the steering via human resources could be, how do you use HR to create new capabilities or to create new competencies? So let's say that your company would integrate new technology. So how will HR will help you increase the value of the technology that you are using? Well, it could be by hiring people that have the right skills. So you use HR to reach very high, very rewarding strategies that the company is setting for themselves. So 3 different roles, and each one of these roles will be aligned with what the company wants to do. So the builder would be a small business, and HR just helps design the jobs, the new jobs, and the job descriptions and compensations. A change partner could be, for example, if you are integrating telecommuting into your work structure. So how are you going to supervise this new group of workers that are working from home? Or how will you create compensation systems so that those who are working from home and those who are at the office can still communicate, and so on? So that will be an example of how HR could be a change partner. And then navigator. So an example would be that there's a new challenge, and then HR is going to be your key partner to be able to meet that new challenge. Now, HR, so in these 3 examples, do you recognize which one is the role of HR in your organization? Is it the builder? I don't think it's the builder because your company seems to be pretty big.
No, right? It's not the builder.
No. Would it be
more like this? It's steering.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, steering via human resources.
Right, because in theory, they should help you reach new goals and new challenges. Okay. And HR also can be a partner when the company is going after new business strategies. For example, if you're trying to differentiate, let's say that you're going to produce a new service that the bank will address, services for a new segment of the population, perhaps the older population. How will HR help you so that you can differentiate your services that is more pleasing to the older population? So that would be an example of how HR would help you differentiate a service that you are offering. Another business strategy could be cost leadership. So let's say that you want to differentiate yourself by offering great services but at a lower cost. So perhaps HR can help you find ways of reducing costs through perhaps training and development. So if you train people and develop them, perhaps you don't have that much turnover. And at the end, you will have to spend less into hiring people because you don't have that much turnover. So HR would be helping you with savings, and perhaps HR also helps train your people so they don't have as many errors, and errors could be costly. So if you can quantify the savings that you are getting for investing into training and development, that could also be an example of how HR could be helping with cost leadership. And then a focus strategy. A focus strategy has to do with going after new segments that had not been discovered in the past. In the US, we are very much focused on health and how to keep people healthy. So if you have a new focus in your strategy, which is keeping people healthy, and you try to adjust your business to that new strategy, then HR could help you find candidates that are not only good at what they do, but also that are very interested in health issues. So you don't have to convince them that being concerned about health is important for the organization, but you already bring them on board with that idea in their minds. So that could be another type of strategy. And then finally, in the first part of the course, you will be reading about how to measure HR efficiency. And there are many ways in which you can measure HR efficiency. Can you think of one of those, Justice? Or let's talk about your own HR people. How would you measure that they're helping you and that they're being effective?
Yeah, for me, in my organization, the way I feel their impact is basically filling in gaps when there are deficiency in terms of staffing. You know, at times you find out that they usually do staff audit. So when they do staff audit, they realize that in this area we have so much staff. In this area we don't have enough. You know, they do kind of reshuffle to do a proper placement. But another area too, which I see is because I'm in the business development and the business focus arm of the company. You find that you also want to get a staff that will help you drive and achieve your vision. So in that case, you can send an email or pass a call to human resources that I need a person of this category that has this profile to help drive my business. And they do the recruitment or do in-house recruitment, source from another department that will fit my requirement, and they send such to me. Or maybe at times you find out that people in your office, maybe because of unforeseen contingencies or sicknesses, maybe something like sickness or family challenge, are unable to come to work, you find out that there's a deficit somewhere in terms of staffing. You speak to them, you send them an email, they say, okay, give us some time. They'll scatter around to get a staff to come and fill up that position for you so that you can operate optimally. I think in that regard, for me, they're doing very well.
Oh, great. Okay.
You know, but the area I have challenged, as I mentioned earlier on, is issue of staff motivation, what staff is bound as, what is expected of staff to benefit from a system. In that regard, they don't have a single control. They don't have influence over that. So I'm concerned about that.
Yes.
Because if all decision in that regard has to come from the executive management, and executive management will give you what they want to give to you, even if it's not the best for you. So HR is not in position to negotiate. You know, so those are also the challenges. But by and large, they are making impact. You know, in terms of the organizational growth and the ability for us to achieve along with the vision of the organization.
So you mentioned very important things that will help you from HR. If I ask someone else how HR helps them, they may tell me different things. So when you can identify the different areas in which HR can help you, you will be building what we call a balanced scorecard for HR. So can you imagine if we had in written all the things that you would be needing from HR, and then at the end of the period, you would measure them against that scorecard. So then you would be creating more accountability. And more accountability is created not only with whatever you need from them, but also what are the times and what is the level of quality. So let's go back to the staffing. Let's say that you have an opening, and you say, okay, I would like to fill in this opening within a month. And after that month, I would like to see 3 qualified candidates. You are already determining a scorecard, something that HR will be accountable. Of course, that scorecard needs to be based on realistic goals, and that it comes with experience, and also with talking to other people. What is the average time that it takes to hire a candidate? And also, when you evaluate it, if the candidate is actually good enough, and if he or she stays in the company for at least, I don't know, a certain amount of time, if there's no turnover. So the amount of turnover in a company also could be a measure for the balanced scorecard. But again, this is different across countries, because like you were saying before, there are countries where the supply is more than the demand, and vice versa, where the demand is more than the supply. So these measures of impact would need to be adapted and adjusted to the culture and also to the organizational environment. So one measure would be the time it takes to hire somebody, the quality of the candidates, the amount of money that is invested in attract qualified candidates. In your case, what about creating compensation system that addresses motivation? For example, is it going to be are there going to be bonuses or not? Are they going to be fixed pay or variable pay? Are we going to bring any special compensation for team effort and so on? But all these options need to be given by you, who in this case, you be the client, from HR. And HR should be made accountable and have a performance evaluation as a department, just like you have. I'm assuming that you have performance evaluations with the people that
yeah, of course.
Yeah, so same thing with HR. So this is just the big picture of what you are going to be reading in the textbook for the first chapters. Do you have any questions about this content so far?
No, I'm fine.
Mm-hmm. So let me go over the first assignment. So the first assignment is very simple. Just identify the deadlines for each one of the assignments. And the reason why I do this is because when I work at a distance, when students are accountable for turning in, and they made the commitment to turn in assignments at a certain date, they are more likely to do it than if I did do it randomly. So with that commitment, you're more likely to finish on time. All right. So, and then the first one is really simple. The second one, what I would be looking for is that you think of how you would have to describe a position like yours and create a video for this. So think about, how do you think, well, first of all, HR becomes a strategic partner for the organization. Then in the readings, you will read about job design. So how would you use HR to help you design a job for a leadership role, which is going to be very unique, different to an individual contributor? And then something that is really important in the US, which is how to create a fair recruiting strategy. In the US, we follow very strongly the lead of equal employment opportunity. And many companies have taken important steps into creating fair recruiting strategies. So I would like for you to think of these 3 questions as you are creating the content of a video, and provide elements from the textbook to support your video, as well as very specific examples that bring in your own experiences as they relate to these questions. Do you have any questions? Any questions about that assignment?
Yeah, actually, I haven't looked at the assignment.
Okay.
I haven't, so I need to look at it.
Okay.
So that I'm able to actually have a grasp of what you are requesting for. I haven't looked at the assignment. Okay. I haven't even read anything about this course, as in what you have uploaded. I just opened the laptop.
Oh, don't worry.
For the first time today. So
yeah,
I just finished my assignment on the seminar that I went for in New York. I just finished about 2 days ago. So I spoke with Steph that she kindly enroll me on HR so that I can start up. But I'm going to do that. My job is quite demanding. I must tell you, it was very demanding. And this weekend too, we are going for a budget section and for performance review. So, but hopefully I should be able to make time to do my assignments.
Okay.
Because if I'm paying so much for the program, I should also give time to that.
Yes.
Give time to the program so that I don't waste my resources.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that is for the first assignment. Again, use Zoom just like you used today to create a video. I can see already that you are very good at presenting, and probably you have a lot of expertise presenting in front of big audiences. So the only thing that you have to do is press record. and that's it. Of course, have your outline. And then for the next assignment, and again, if you have questions as you read the assignments, please get in touch with me. I'm more than glad to go over the assignments again. The next assignment would be, again, it's a video, and there are 3 questions related to, the first one is related to your current job. So the first one is, what type of measurements do you think would be necessary to choose a candidate that would occupy your job? So in order to find out these measurements, you need to think about what specific and special skills, abilities, and behaviors you have that describe your role. And then how would you measure those skills in a person that would occupy your job in the future, hopefully because you're going to be promoted to a higher position. Then the second question is, what method of decision making is most useful to select someone in your current role? So when you read the content, you will see that in HR we use different decision making processes to choose the best candidate. I want you to choose one of those methods that addresses the needs of choosing someone for your role. And the third one is to choose a compensation system for someone in your role. So there are different types of compensation systems according to the level in the organization. Some compensation systems that work better at different levels. So I want you to let me know which one you would choose for your job and why that would be the best one. And again, I would expect that you're supporting your comments with the readings, and that you provide also specific examples from your own expertise. And then and that's a video. And then the last one is not a video. The last one is something written, and 2 main things that I would be looking for. So the first one is, I know it's a lot, I'm sorry, but when you read this and I have questions, I'll be glad to answer. It's focusing on emotional intelligence. So after you have read the book on emotional intelligence, I want you to think of 4 specific skills that are related to emotional intelligence. What is their definition? Then find one article that discusses this element of emotional intelligence. And then how do you think this skill could be measured? For example, one element of emotional intelligence is self-awareness. And you can find millions of articles out there that describe how to increase self-awareness in executives. And then I would like for you to find some exercises that help people develop self-awareness. Then the second part of the assignment is find 2 skills or abilities or behaviors related to emotional intelligence that you want to develop for yourself with very specific activities. And then the last part is just discussing the importance of emotional intelligence in your field. What are the advantages of having emotional intelligence in your role? What are your conclusions from finding out the skills that are related to emotional intelligence for your job? And if you were in charge of human resources development, how would you help executives like you develop emotional intelligence? So if you notice, all of the assignments are based on things that are relevant to you and things that you could put in practice. So I hope that you can use these assignments to help you in some way.
Sorry, it said the third one is, it said 2 skills and ability I want to develop for myself in terms of emotional intelligence. What is the next question you asked again? Do I have it on the I have it on the
yeah,
on the course?
Yeah, everything is on
everything is there.
Yeah, everything is on the website.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. So I go to the website and get all the details there.
Yeah, you don't have to write it down now.
Oh, great.
And again, when you get to read the assignments and if you have questions, please reach out to me. I'm more than glad to answer as many questions as you want to ask me.
Okay. I can see it's like Irene is with us now.
I've been here for a while. I'm so sorry. Hi, Yvonne.
Oh, I'm glad that you're joining us, and I'm sorry you were not able to join before.
I know. I can see your slides, but I just can't hear you.
Okay. Well, at least you could. Oh, you couldn't hear me. Well, I have recorded this, so as soon as we're done, I will make it available to you, and well, of course, to Justice.
Great.
So
great.
just I think that also part of the importance of a course like this is that you get to know other students in the program. So you don't know each other, right?
I don't know, Justin. No. Is it Justin or Justice? Justice.
Justice.
Hi, Justice.
I'm good. How are you doing, Irene?
I'm very good. Very good.
So
I guess you're from Nigeria as well?
I am. And in fact, I came to Abuja yesterday. Hi, Yvonne. I'm based in London, England. I run a recruitment company there.
Okay.
But I also have a recruitment company here in Lagos and Abuja. So I recruit for, you would know, Justice, NNPC. So I'm currently recruiting for
It's our, the Condisoya giant.
Right. So I'm currently recruiting for them. I arrived yesterday, and that's why my internet is all over the place. So I'm so sorry. But I'm so glad that you've recorded this so I can get some of the audio later on.
Yes, absolutely. So, Justice, if you don't mind introducing yourself to Irene as well.
Okay, Irene, as you can see for yourself, my name is Justice Gbenoba. A Nigerian from Delta State, the oil-rich region of the country. And I guess that's what you're
incidentally, I'm from Delta too.
I can see by your name, I can see that very well.
By the surname, yes, you can tell.
I'm a banker. I'm based in Lagos.
Right.
I'm based in Lagos. So I work for Zenith Bank, and I head one of the business unit, one of the branches in Victoria Island.
Okay.
So.
Okay, brilliant.
But I'm based in Lagos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay. Hopefully, we should catch up soon.
Yes,
I'm
certainly.
in Nigeria for about 3 weeks. I'm here for 3 weeks, and I'm back to London. I'm not sure if I'll be in Lagos this time, but I'm currently in Abuja.
Okay. So we can talk on phone. We can chat via email.
Yes, certainly.
Yeah. I was in London about a month ago. I spent about 8 days in London when I was coming from New York after our program at St. John's. I
only just started.
We just started.
I didn't join this. I just started. This is my second course. So I'm sure. Yeah. So Yvonne, lovely to meet you.
Yes.
I sort of took some information when you were talking about the course, the assignments and the requirements of the assignments. So I'm hoping that all the things that you mentioned would be in the instruction documents, and we can sort of look at them again.
Yes, absolutely. And
is that correct? Yes.
This is recorded. I will make it available as soon as we log off.
Okay, brilliant. Okay.
Well, very good meeting you, both of you.
All right.
All right. So if you have any questions, send me an email. I'll be glad to answer.
Nice. Okay. And I'll send you an email to Justice. I'll send you an email, Yvonne. Thank you so much.
So send me an email, Irene. Let me have your email, your phone number, so I can ring you. We can talk off this space.
Okay, brilliant. I'll do that straight away.
Right.
Okay.
It's good to know you.
All right.
Take care.
So Yvonne, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thank you, Yvonne.
Good night.
All right. Night.